That was a home run. Stan Dickerson on the call. Tigers win easy last night. Had a little partying in the Bronx.
Yeah.
The Bombers were on the side of Detroit there. Kerry Carpenter with a home run. All right, so talk some Tigers. It's Ben Johnson week.
Yes.
And I thought you had a great observation about Ben Johnson and specifically how we view him.
I know that going into the season, right, there's 4 division coaches. And I know I make fun of Matt LaFleur's name because it's just fun to say. And I've got a lot of respect for Kevin O'Connell. Whoever the Bears coach is probably going to, like Eberflus, he was easy to pick on. We don't know what Ben Johnson's going to be. But as I'm watching games this past weekend, and we just talked about Aaron Rodgers, talking about that game between the Steelers and the Jets, where you get quarterbacks that have just basically flipped sides. I was actively, and I don't care about the Jets. In fact, they have one of the most annoying
and annoying.
Yeah. Chants, the Jets, Jets.
The fireman
it's
thing,
like the Eagles thing, all that stuff. Like playing there, it just angers you. And it's kind of just the personality of the fans, the team, all that stuff. But I was actively rooting for Aaron Glenn. I wanted him to win that game so bad. And then the Bears and the Vikings, 2 division opponents, take the field on Monday night. And I think it's going to be this way all season, and it may be this way forever. I wanted Ben Johnson to lose that game. And trust me, there are guys that I know on the Bears team, one of them, Costa Loveland, where I'm hoping for good things for him, but just that his team goes 0-17. Like, that's hard for the cognitive dissonance there is real because my disdain for Ben Johnson is so great. I just want to see him squirm on the sideline. I want him to try and come up with answers and have none. And maybe it's the pairing of him and Caleb Williams that I don't want to see them win. But I have this disdain for Ben Johnson, but I don't for Aaron Glenn.
How much of that, though, is the division?
I think if Ben Johnson went anywhere, and maybe it's just watching him go into a franchise and talk about, well, this is where I've always wanted to be, and or it's his conversations and talking about when he's interviewed and the arrogance that he had talking about Matt LaFleur. We're wondering, well, they must be buddies. And Matt LaFleur says, well, I don't really know Ben Johnson. Like, it's the arrogance of which he handles himself. And I think if he went to the Steelers, if he went to the Seahawks, if he went anywhere where we just don't care, I still think I would have that an impression of I kind of want him to go 0-17.
The dynamic is interesting. Aaron Glenn is someone we're rooting for.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson is persona non grata.
Yeah.
He is public enemy number 1. And I think it is more than just he's in the division. I think it is more than, he's coming into the building this week. I think this has been building for a long time. So we want to know, what is it about him that makes him so hated in the city of Detroit? And it can't just be, he's at a division rival, because I think it's more than that. And I think, John, you can understand that.
I think it's way more than that. And it's, I don't know, even when they would talk, the media would have access to talk to the media. The media would have access to talk to the coordinators. Mm-hmm. Like, you kind of always liked Aaron Glenn, and he was just, and maybe this is it, he was more like Dan Campbell without being Dan Campbell. Like, their personalities meshed. He's a former player, and he is just tough. And it feels like when Ben Johnson went to another franchise, it kind of feels like he's trying to copy Dan Campbell, but he's not. Like, that's not his personality. He's trying to be this tough guy with the Bears, but that's not him. And I think it's just he's not authentic.
I think some of it is. I think fans still put a disproportionate amount of blame on him for that playoff game.
But I've never done that.
No, I'm not saying you.
I know, but so that doesn't
apply to you.
Yeah.
But I think it does apply to a lot of people listening right now. They can answer for themselves. But I remember doing those shows after that playoff loss. And I wanted to sink my teeth into Goff's mistakes, right? And people go, well, hold on. They called a pass on 3rd and 1. That's Ben Johnson's fault. They didn't give the ball to Gibbs more early in that game. That's Ben Johnson's fault. They didn't run enough, period. They ran a trick play where J-Mo threw the ball. So you don't blame J-Mo for throwing the pick. It's on Ben for calling the play. A lot of blame was placed on Ben Johnson after that playoff game. What's he doing taking interviews instead of preparing for the game? I think fans hold the playoff loss against Ben Johnson more than they do their own quarterback, their own head coach, or anybody else affiliated with that result. I think that's a big part of it too, John.
It may be for some. It may be psychological for some. And I know that there are relationships, and we always heard about the relationship between him and Jared Goff. Those relationships and the way that you talk about that stays behind the camera. It doesn't go in front of the camera. And then when he has, and maybe it's his comments about, being able to have a mobile quarterback and he could do so much more now versus Jared Goff. And I know he didn't say Jared Goff's name.
No, but he meant Jared Goff. We actually have the audio. We still have it in the system.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
You can fire people up. Let's get to that.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably some of it.
I think he also said something about Penei Sewell throws a better ball than Jared Goff. He on the way out certainly didn't ingratiate himself with Lions fans. We have that clip too. It's a short clip.
All right, so a lot of those comments are you sitting around drinking beers with your buddies going, and giving Jared Goff a hard time as he's sitting there.
Right.
Not in the media.
This one says it's just his face. Something about Ben Johnson's look irritates me. Nate in Allen Park.
Yeah, I mean, it's a punchable face.
Ben Johnson's play calling against Washington was the reason we lost the playoff game. There it is on the ticket text. It's the arrogance of Ben Johnson. He believes all the hype that it was all him, not that he had all pros and extremely talented players on his offensive line. Plus, he had extremely talented players in general. But Ben thinks it was all him. I don't think he thinks it's all him, which is why they went out and added 3 interior offensive linemen this offseason in Chicago.
Yeah, but I think there is a measure of arrogance that he exudes this arrogance. And you're just, it wasn't him. It was the team. It was Brad Holmes. It was Dad Campbell. It was Aaron Glenn. And Aaron Glenn was never a me guy. But it feels like Ben Johnson is it's me. It's my offense. It's my call. I'm going to take my talents to Chicago, to the Windy City, and I'm going to make them great again.
There's a fine line.
You like that one, didn't you?
Political over here. It's like you're making a speech.
There is a fine line in being like the boy wonder OC. Like, you could very easily be O'Connell and LaFleur and McVay, or you could be Adam Gase. Right? I mean, that's the other side of the coin.
Whoa. You're comparing them to who?
Other bright offensive minds that have moved on to head coaching jobs.
Right. Kevin O'Connell is, I think, one of, if not one of the brightest offensive minds, but he doesn't say, I made Sam Darnold great. I'm going to make J.J. McCarthy great. He doesn't do any of that.
I'm not comparing their personality types. I'm saying those are the fork in the road. Either you are one of the LaFleur's, McVay's, O'Connell's, or you're this Adam Gase, like detached from reality, like mad scientist that ends up staring with those weird bug eyes at your press conferences, and you get fired in short order. And I think we're all rooting for Ben Johnson to be Adam Gase more than Sean McVay and Kevin O'Connell. It's a great observation, John. Aaron Glenn is going to be someone we root for. Ben Johnson is someone that we loathe in this city. He is a villain. He is public enemy number 1. And it's more than the fact that he coaches for the Chicago Bears. So let us know. What is it about him? 248-539-9797. It's 97.1.